Visit to an Alien Planet, written and performed by Akiva Vita. You awaken in a cool, dark room. There's a quiet hiss as the door to your pod unseals itself and opens. Distantly, you can hear the sounds of your crewmates beginning to stir as they, too, awaken from the deep, dreamless sleep of cryo. The ship is dark, save the dim glow of the emergency lights that line the floor around your pod. The ship, too, has been sleeping, saving power until the time was right to wake her crew. Sitting up, you turn your head and look outside the large lab windows behind you. There, in the distance, about the size of a $50 on the view screen, is a planet. One made up of crisp blues, greens, and whites. Beautiful and Earth-like. This is why we are here, you tell yourself. This is why we're awake. You swing your legs over the ledge of your sleeping chamber and set them gently on the floor. You wiggle your toes and consider the feeling of the cold floor beneath your feet. It's been months, maybe even years, since you last used your muscles. A tingle moves its way up your body in slow, soft pulses as the automated systems of the medical bay begin to help you slowly reacclimate to life in this body. You take several slow, deep breaths, in through your nose and out through your mouth. As the pulse starts, you squeeze the muscles of your feet and legs and hold them tightly, feeling the tension in your toes, feet, calves, and thighs. The medical interface chimes softly, and you release, slowly letting the tension go, along with your breath. The pulse starts again, higher up your body this time, and you take another slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. You squeeze your hands into fists and tighten the muscles in your arms and shoulders. Hold them tightly for several seconds. The medical interface chimes again, and you release, letting the tension leak out of your body as you slowly let the breath out of your mouth. The ship's AI blinks to life on the monitor beside you. Greetings, crew member. Sensors have detected an exoplanet in the nearby star system, matching criteria for inhabitability. Exploration Protocol 0-07 initiated. Potential landing party members revived from cryostasis. Would you like to continue? You indicate yes on the touchpad by the monitor. Please report to the main shuttle bay to begin loadout procedure. Your screen blinks off. Nearby, you hear another crew member receiving the same instructions, though hers are in French. Allez au garage, s'il vous plaît. You rise out of the small padded chamber that's been your bed. The lights along the floor panels begin to flash in sequence, showing you the way through the ship. Though this vessel has been your home for an unknown expanse of time and distance traveled, it is a stranger to you. You walk through narrow corridors that echo with the ghostly vibrations of the ship's primary engine. Passing dimly lit rooms, not unlike the one you and your crewmates emerged from. Some are full of yet more cryopods, others with equipment and storage crates. You get to a large series of glass doors, through which you can see about half a dozen small rovers and 2 shuttles, a colony and an explorer type, respectively. The glowing lights along the floor direct you to a wall interface off to the left. Identity verification code, please. You input the 8-digit code, your birthday, and press the tiny green Enter key. Thank you. Verification code accepted. The wide glass doors slide apart, granting you entry. You join the others standing by a series of lockers by the Explorer. It's a Caravel class, top of the line. Or, at least, it had been when the voyage set sail, despite rumors of a new and improved Carrack class being in the works for several months leading up to the expedition. Just as well, you tell yourself. You're used to the Caravel class. You trained on them, you're comfortable with them, and they had a reputation planetside for being reliable enough to set a clock by. This one had crisp letters in black paint, spelling out its name on the port side hull. The lettering is neither yet sun-bleached nor dulled by the elements. It seems your team is to be its maiden voyage. Welcome, shore party, greets the onboard navigation system once your small crew of 6 has geared up and loaded onto the shuttle. Beginning disembarking procedure now. The ship powers on, and a member of your crew with a patch on his jumpsuit indicating pilot training takes the controls. You feel the shuttle slowly ascend as the doors to the shuttle bay open. Revealing a thin, translucent sheath of energy that maintains the cabin's air seal. The starfields and planet beyond appear to wobble as if you were watching them through a waterfall. Your transport exits through the large shuttle bay doors. The hum of the ship ceases, and you pass through the energy field into the silence of space. The sight of the planet before you becomes crisp and clear. You all stare on in awestruck wonder for a long, pregnant moment. Was this how Atlas felt, you wonder? Hovering now in the heavens, the landing party's shuttle is as insignificant as a bird on a wire. You find a strange, heavy peace settle over you. When the shuttle lands, the onboard autopilot integrates seamlessly with your pilot and crewmate, and you hardly feel a thing as you touch down. You help the rest of the shore party ready the small rover you took aboard, and initiate the sequence to unlock and open the shuttle doors. The exit hatch opens automatically and becomes a ramp, which extends down gently onto the planet's surface. As light from the alien sun floods the loading area of your small transport, you feel the sun's warmth soak through the fabric of your jumpsuit. And you and your shipmates get your first look at the planet's surface. A dense forest of glinting greens, vibrant yellows, and blushing purples greets you. The undergrowth is thick with intense colors, larger than life against the muted interior of your tiny research shuttle. You unlatch your liquid glass helmet and collapse it into the neck of your jumpsuit, and notice as beside you, 2 crewmates do the same, leaving only the thin smart fabric mask that covers your nose and mouth to filter out any small parasites or microbials who would otherwise cause unknowable havoc on a human respiratory system. You breathe in deeply as you pass beyond the shuttle's energy barrier. And the smells you take in are as acrid as they are sickly sweet, with hints of earthy undertones that linger in the back of your throat like a warm draft of hot chocolate. The air here is dense with humidity. On occasion, a series of leaves and vines move with an unexpected fluidity that you suspect to be the passage of one of the jungle's indigenous fauna, moving all but invisibly through the vegetation. As the landing team begins to move out from the shuttle, you take note of the huge, sprawling stoneworks that climb out of the wild and unlandscaped green expanse for as far as the eye can see. They are all drenched in tangles of moss and ivy, peppered with small wildflowers and large heart-shaped leaves that have spun themselves in intricate, unearthly patterns all across the ruins. You realize that you've landed in the remains of a derelict city, and that there once must have been a people here. A people not entirely unlike you. Intelligent, resourceful, creative. Though the countless centuries of disrepair has left the structures crumbling, their details faded and lost to time, it is nonetheless beautiful in its desolation. The ghosts of the ruined city speak to you on the haunting winds, which whisper in on the damp breeze. By the time your team has finished unloading the rover and unpacking the necessary equipment to make base camp, it is late evening, and the sky is a blazing red-orange as the sun begins to set behind the grassy dunes. The light from the setting sun catches on the planet's thin ring, striking a brilliant yellow score across the sky for as far as the eye can see. It blazes far past nightfall, a deep red glow that mars the heavens long after the rest of the day's light has been bled from the sky. With the sunset comes the night symphony from the planet's native insects. You and the rest of the shore party continue carving a path through the thick brush, using the electric lights built into your hardsuits to guide your way. You come upon a clearing of tall, grass-like vegetation, and when you begin making your way through the foliage, a parade of strange bugs with phosphorescent wings take off all around you, lighting up the grass you've disturbed like the runway lights of an airport back on Earth. They dance about you and off into the night, humming quietly. The air is cool and crisp and smells like an oncoming storm. You trek through the night and make base camp at the break of dawn, which brings with it a light misting of rain. Throughout the night, your small band of 6 had been venturing towards a large, oblique mass in the distance, which you had believed to be the foot of a tall mountain range. Coming upon it at daybreak, you are amazed to discover that it is far more than that. Or, at least, it once had been. Carved into the mountain, you can see a crowded series of paths, bridges, and walkways, interconnected by structures built into the edifice. Upon closer examination, and with help from the surveying devices on board the rover, you come to learn that these complexes, much like the city you'd landed by, are abandoned. They are crumbling and vacant of any upkeep, and have become home to an array of small creatures, though none intelligent enough to have been their creators. You and your team spend the next several solar cycles cataloging the area, collecting samples, recording weather patterns, and scanning and photographing the terrain before setting up a series of unobtrusive drones and monitoring devices. As you do this, you are in contact with several other small research teams that have been deployed by your main ship all across the planet's many small continents. They, too, find similar abandoned structures, and you are forced to conclude that you have set down not only on a world, but on a graveyard. Whatever intelligent life had once been here, having long since either died out or moved on. With an almost mournful acceptance, you and your team set up the last of your probes, pack up your gear, and head back for the shuttle. The equipment you leave behind makes use of a long-distance communication system that can connect to a series of small satellites that the ship's main computer will set to launch not long after your vessel begins its way out from this humble star system. These devices will continue to monitor the planet's surface and transmit the data both to your craft, for as long as it remains in range, as well as off in the direction of Earth, where scientists and researchers on your home world will review the findings with rabid fascination and starstruck wonder as they continue to build faster and larger ships, sending out recon teams by the score to every distant corner of the vast and unexplored galaxy. And you will depart on your shuttle, return to your ship, and go back to sleep. I hope you have enjoyed listening to Visit to an Alien Planet, written and performed by Akiva Vita. Thank you, and good night.